Washington football. Woo! Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Burgundy Zone. I am your host, Kyle, and I am joined by my two co-hosts, Michael Hall and Michael Reed. We are joined by a very special guest and fan of the Washington football team, George Carmi of Full Press Coverage. George, thank you for joining us tonight. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me. Really glad to be here.
Absolutely. I love that jersey you got on, by the way. You came
Always, right?
prepared, man.
Standard issue jersey for Washington football team. Exactly.
Absolutely. If you don't have a Sean Taylor jersey, are you a real fan?
Are you?
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
Now, George, to start this off, I saw an intriguing article that came by, and it was basically a redraft of 2020 and what you would do in that scenario. So for you, are you still selecting Chase Young if you could do a redraft of 2020, or are you going Justin Herbert or Tua? What are you doing if you had the ability to do a redraft?
Wow, such a tough question. I never starting off like that. All right, cool. All right, so it's definitely a tough situation there, right? So you start seeing with the second overall pick, you have a king's ransom for what you get from giving it out there, right? A couple multiple first round picks. You start getting second rounders. You can trade back, get someone you want. Herbert was unpredictable. No one really saw Herbert going to that level and hitting the ground running like that. So I'm going to kind of put that to the side. So my argument would be multiple draft picks or Chase Young. And I think all of us, even though we are fans, we're analytical, we can see the big picture. I think Chase Young was a home run hit. I think he was a good fit for our team. I think he defines our team. Without him, being placed on our team, we have a defined personality. We have a strong defensive front. He elevated Montez Sweat, I love Chase Young, but in my opinion, Montez Sweat had the better year last year. In my opinion, Montez Sweat was awesome last year.
Yeah, very underrated.
Yeah, very underrated. So basically, he raised them up, and he defined their personality. And he has that Ray Lewis kind of that fire that kind of brings everyone together. Yeah. And I like that. We need someone in the locker room. So him being a hard worker, elevating our elevating our locker room. He's someone that you build around, and I think we're going this route. He's a foundational piece to kind of move forward. I like having that. So I'm all about Chase Young. I'll stay there. What do you guys think?
Fantastic.
Yeah, I 100%
exactly
agree.
What I would do.
Yeah.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, and kind of sticking with the whole rest of the NFL offseason, it was announced that they're going to move into a 17-game season this year. Are you excited about that, or are you kind of the mind think of some people out there kind of think that more football doesn't equal better football or more exciting football, kind of like oversaturating the market, I guess, if you want to call it that. So how do you feel about that?
I'm all about it, man. I'm a football head, so the more football, the better. I think they actually they did it the right way too. I'm sure you guys saw they removed one preseason game and turned that into a regular season game. So they're going to be on the field anyway, right? So I think an extra game, extra week of fantasy, extra week of DraftKings is definitely a lot of fun for all of us. I think exactly right, Mike. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I guess one thing that I'm kind of cautious about is injuries. So I think what they should do to be proactive is to expand the roster. Look at there you go, Zach. There you go. Basically add more positions and kind of have flexibility there. I don't know if it was finalized. You guys might know better than me, but I know there was a proposition to you have to bench one player for 1 week. I don't know if you guys have heard that. That was actually put into effect. There was a proposal with the 17 game and with the NFLPA that they want to protect the players. And it was you expand the 17 games, but every player has to sit out 1 week to rest their body. And the interesting thing was taking a quarterback. What are you gonna do with Patrick Mahomes? He had to sit out one game. Right. When do you do that? At the end of the season when you have the bye week and kind of figure it that way. But I like it. I'm all about it. I like the fact they got rid of the preseason game. And I don't know if you guys saw, but it's going to be in place till 2030. I don't know if you guys saw that, but yeah. So with I'm all for it. So the collective bargaining agreement, basically they signed it. So from now till 2030, they have a 17-game season, and then they can reflect in 2030 what they want to do, either reduce it, but I'm guessing they're going to expand to 18 games at that point.
Now, George, do you know if the injuries count as a player sitting? Let's say if somebody does get injured that hasn't sat out yet, does that go into the whole sitting out for 1 week?
I'm not exactly sure. I was kind of reading proposals of all this new 17-game draft, so it's not even official yet to kind of be honest with you. But I think it would be, right? If you're sitting out one game because you're injured, then you're resting. It would encourage players to be proactive and be safer, so I think it would work.
Right. Yeah, that's still so weird to me. Just getting used to a 17-game season. Obviously, like you said, I would love it, but there's gonna be a lot of records broken, I would say. Let's put it that way. There's gonna be some new
100%.
stuff said. But so turning our attention to the 2021 NFL draft. Of course, there's a report yesterday that Mike Lombardi said that he knows that Washington loves Trey Lance and that he wouldn't be surprised if they traded up for him. That was kind of shot down. Then John Keim came back and said, no, they Washington does really love Trey Lance.
Mhm.
Are you buying any of this? Do you think that they trade up to 4? Do you think they only trade up for him if he falls?
I think if he starts slipping a little bit, it might be more intriguing. They might be more interested there.
Right.
You guys are big Redskins fans, Washington fans. You guys know like what Ron Rivera said earlier in the season.
Yep.
He was like, I'm not going to invest. I'm not going to
mortgage the future.
Not going to mortgage the future. So I don't see it per se. And I honestly don't want it that way, to be honest with you.
Right.
Like I kind of want Rivera to extend his plan out. Like we all know it. We watch coaches, like, it's going to be a 4 or 5 year plan for their contract.
Yep.
I think Ron Rivera year one was like assessing the talent, like who's on my team, who do I have? You're going to kind of build it up and kind of add on players. Year two, we're kind of growing. Ideally, dream scenario, we build up our team in the draft this year, drop in a quarterback in year 3, then let's see what happens. Year 3 and 4, year 4 we're peaking to maybe a playoff or Super Bowl run. That'd be awesome. That'd be ideal situation for me. So I'm not about trading up.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, unless obviously they feel that Trey Lance is the second coming of Patrick Mahomes, in which case, obviously, do what you got to do to get the guy. But yeah, I'm right there with you.
We've seen everyone, speculate on the draft, George, and what they would do at this spot, what to do at 19 and at 51. What top 4 positions would you like to see addressed with those first 4 picks in the top 3 rounds?
Top 4 positions. All right, interesting. So
if you want to double up, that's fine, but just figured that it's
so first 4 rounds, what you said, right?
Well, the first 3 rounds with the 4 picks because we have the dual threes.
Oh, got you. Okay, exactly. All right, so I don't want to go into the draft like pigeonholing myself and I have to get like a linebacker in the first round or anything like that, but just kind of scaffolding like what I would want, like our needs, right?
Right.
Definitely need a linebacker. I think a left tackle is essential. I know people are kind of high on Cornelius Lucas. He's about 30 years old now, and you never know. He had a good season, had a good career. Like I kind of want to have that building block there. So linebacker, left tackle, safety. I like to kind of finalize that once for all, and then tight end. If we can hit those first 4 rounds, first 4 picks, I'd be very, very happy with that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, a lot of people want to go wide receiver, but I think with the addition of Humphrey, Samuels, guys like that, I think that they're kind of set at wide receiver. They might draft one late, or maybe if like a good, I guess like a second tier wide receiver drops or something like that, they might address it maybe the second or third round. But definitely agree with those positions. Those are like top tier needs that we need.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Speaking of Curtis Samuel, I was just gonna say a Bleacher Report came out with the report saying that Curtis Samuel was our worst free agent signing, which kind of had me puzzled. Yeah, I know. I made the Nick face meme,
the Nick Young face. Exactly.
But yeah, so how do you feel about that? Because I'm pretty sure 99.9% of the fans are like, that was a home run, especially for the contract that we got him on. So,
yeah, I thought it was a home run pick. I think I love Curtis Samuel. I think he was a great selection for our team. He's going to fit in perfectly, right? I think the fact that we know him, we know his work ethic, the fact that he's good with Terry McLaurin and kind of known him from the past is great. I do think that's going to be a great building block. I just hope that Scott Turner uses him effectively. Like I'm sure you guys have dug into it a little bit, but 2 years ago, about 75% of his routes were on the outside with Scott Turner. He used him as more of a boundary receiver. Yeah. And then last year with Rule in Carolina, he moved him more to the slot. So I think it'd be I think Humphries was a great addition because it frees up Seaman to kind of do whatever you want because he's a weapon. We should be giving him the ball in jet sweeps and running and so on and so forth. And, going back to the wide receiver in the first round or whatever, if one falls to us, why not, right? I think, I don't see Humphries as a long-term solution. If Elijah Moore is sitting there, if Devontae Smith happens to fall down or whatever happens, if there's like a tier above that comes down at 19, snag him, man. Get him and just kind of keep putting for the future. Why not? Like, insulate your team for a quarterback for next year, in my opinion.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle hopefully has one of those smoking gas masks.
I hope so. I really do hope so.
Yeah, but one thing about Curtis Samuel, I did watch every catch of his from last season used with Joe Brady, and I will say they used him a lot on shallow routes in the middle of the field with like comebacks and cuts, and that really elevated his receptions. And so I think that's where Scott's going to kind of use him in that way, where he's still going to be used pre-snap, but instead of it being like you said outside, they're going to use him more in the middle as that kind of sure pure catcher because dude, I'm done. He only had 4 drops last year. It was incredible.
Right.
Yeah, and I forget the statistic as well. He's one of the better like deep ball receivers.
Yeah,
in the
he had a
league, too, actually.
99.9 target rating or whatever. Quarterbacks had a 99.9 rating when targeting him downfield or something.
Yeah, and he had an inaccurate quarterback too. They'd overthrow him and underthrow him as well. He would be wide open with his speed. So I'm really excited. Like Fitzgerald's gonna let it rip, man. I'm excited about that. It's gonna be awesome. I'm up for it. It'd be cool.
Speaking of some of the prospects, I know you noticed or you mentioned like Elijah Moore, some of these people. Who is a prospect that's maybe not overlooked, but maybe not like a consensus top 10 prospect that you would stand on the table for, that you're sitting there saying, hey, this guy's going to be very good and he's getting overlooked?
So that's funny. There's a couple. I love Christian Daresaw. I know he's kind of being spread around. He's being spread around in Washington circles right now. He's fantastic, guys. He is on PFF score was a 95.6. I think his run score was a 93. His passing grade was a 90. He's 6'5". He has the longest arms. I think it's him and Pernay still have the longest arms in the entire draft class.
Yep.
He's built to be a left tackle. I'm pumped about that. And I think you select him and kind of place him there as a cornerstone for 10 years. Why not? Just go grab him and drop it off over there. I like Nick Bolton a lot, and I'm sure you guys looked into him.
Yep.
The only knock on Nick Bolton is he's kind of like a generation too late. Like he's a heartbeat kind of guy.
Throwback type good.
Yeah, throwback kind of linebacker, right? He'll come in, he'll bring the wood, he'll lay you out. I'm sure you guys saw the tape. He's like DJ Swearinger, man. Those are yelling, cussing people out. I love that. I want that fire energy in my players. And I will like him on the team. He's got to be the right fit. And then who else? I like Zayvon Collins. Zayvon Collins is a big guy of mine too. Like I'm a big fan of him. People are projecting him in the late rounds. Maybe late first, early second, but I think he'd be a great fit for our defense.
Yeah, I've heard people before say, Nick Bolton is like London Fletcher 2.0. There was one play he had where he completely destroyed a wide receiver coming across the middle. It's probably one of the hardest hits I've ever seen. His helmet came off. He hit him so hard. It was really, really impressive. Now, just got released this week that the Fan Ambassador Network got started up by the Washington football team. We had Matty Crocker organizing last night with Doug Williams and Joey, the newest addition to the Washington football team. So, how do you feel about the Fan Ambassador Network? And is there anybody that you have nominated?
Oh, that's actually really cool. So, yeah, definitely. I think I love the Fan Ambassador Network. And Kyle, I think you and I went back and forth on Twitter a little bit. It's so refreshing seeing our organization go this route, right? I think both of you guys, I don't know, Mike Hall, I don't know if you're a Maryland guy as well, but I'm born and raised in Maryland, and I've watched this whole team my whole life. And I've seen a shift. It goes crazy. Like, I'm a little bit older, I think, than you guys. I graduated high school in 2001. And when I was there, it was like the Ravens were coming out. And I think Ravens started in 97. Right. It was like my girlfriend went to Towson. Like it was like basically we started to go separate ways. It was like she was my girl. I love that girl. We used to watch wrestling games together, all that. But then she kind of went to the Ravens. She started kind of fading that route. We see it in the Giants around our areas of Montgomery County. Started the Ravens balloons and all that stuff everywhere, and it just stunk because it was like our team the passion wasn't there. Yep. The Ravens were winning. They were winning Super Bowls, guys. It was kind of Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, so much. It was such a polar opposite organizations for a long time. And I love the Fan Ambassador. I know people are, some people are kind of getting at each other's throats and kind of like, why are we doing this? Like, I think it's the complete opposite. I think it's a wonderful, great thing. And I think it's, they're giving us transparency. They're giving us an opportunity to speak up, and I love it. I nominated Alan Lepore. I basically nominated him. He's a buddy of mine. He does fundraising professional. He's really into the community and helping out low income, black and brown people in our communities. It's awesome. I love it. It's awesome. So we're supporting there for community outreach. I'm not done yet. I'm still looking around at some other people. So if you guys want to nominate, let me know. And I nominated Chris for Chris Bryant for Sunday Fun Day. So
right, yeah.
Cool.
Nice. And yeah, kind of sticking with the whole new regime, the whole new face, the new kind of way of doing things in Washington. How do you feel about the new name change? You got any suggestions or anyone that you like or something like that?
I'm low maintenance, man. I don't need a big character or an animal on the side of my helmet, man. I'm pretty laid back. And I think Kyle and I have talked about this too. I like Warriors, man. Warriors is my number one pick. Just keep it Washington Warriors. Keep that W, man. Keep that W that we keep seeing everywhere. Put that on the side of the helmet. I'm sure you guys saw the image going around, the white W with the yellow outline with the stripes down the middle. Keep that. That'd be fresh. Washington Warriors. Keep that going. I don't mind Washington football team with the numbers. I think that's kind of hard. I think it's kind of a lunch pill mentality. And I feel like our players kind of like they kind of bought into that, like a toughness. Like we're not a flashy kind of team. We are a kind of whatever hardcore team. So I like that
Right.
there. I mean, finally, I don't know how you guys feel about this one, but Sentinels, like I don't know if you guys like
Sentinels
that
I
one.
could get behind. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like the fact that it's like a soldier in Arlington Cemetery, and like I like that military tie to our area. I want it to be DC centric for our name, not some sort of random like a fox or a wolf or something like that. I don't want to do
Right. no, almost extinct animals, please.
Exactly.
Guys.
Come
no
on,
red
man.
wolves.
So I still say The Replacements is one of the most underrated sports movies, man. I love
yeah.
it.
Yeah. It's fantastic, and it's also amazing too how much Washington football team grew on me. I hated it at first. I not hated it, but I was like, that's kind of lame. But then all of a sudden, I'm like, I love it now. I think it's a pretty good name.
Flip my man's truck back over.
Moving up though, looking forward to the 2021 season. Do you think if they do add or they are adding the 17th game, but where do you think this defense finishes? I know we're facing a lot of good offenses next year. I know we still have some work to do. We still have to add a linebacker. We have to replace Ryan Kerrigan. So do you think that this defense can still finish the top 5?
So as of where we stand right now on April 8th, I think this is what's going to happen. I think our defense is going to slightly regress, and I think our offense is going to get better. I think that's my prediction for next year.
I think
we'll see what happens with our linebacking core. We'll see what happens with our safety core. And you never know what happens with injuries. Like everything kind of worked out and broke perfectly for us last season. So I can kind of see us like in the 10 range, around the 10-15 range. But I don't think we're going to fall off a cliff. I think our defensive front's still going to be great. I think we're not scaring anybody anymore. Like that, people are prepared for us now. Like they know that we're going to walk in. Like we have to, double Chase Young coming off the edge. Montez Sweat is not. He is somebody we have to chip when we're breaking up on our passes. So they're expecting that. So our defense will do well. I think we're going to see our defense take a step back, offense go up a little bit. But I think it's going to be fun. I'm not scared of the schedule. People are scared. Like don't be scared. Who knows, man? Like who knows what happens? Injuries. We might just take a big jump. I'm Fitzpatrick Renaissance. We have no idea. Don't be scared of the.
Some teams just regress.
Exactly right.
Play well.
Exactly right.
Iron sharpens iron, right?
Exactly right, man.
Now,
exactly. And you saw the team. Oh, my bad. Go ahead. I was gonna say you saw the team last year. They kind of rose to the competition and the level of play the other team had, and that's kind of been the theme this year of the team for many years. Where
they also lower themselves to
the. That's a Washington staple right there.
Yeah, exactly. They play to the competition, and then they'll play down to the competition as well.
Yep.
But go ahead, Kyle.
Now, do you have any bold predictions for the draft, George? Like, I'm not going to say I mean bold. Like for all of the NFL, let's just say the first round. Like, do you have somebody slotted in at a team that not many are expecting?
That's a tough question right there. Let me think about that for a minute. I think honestly, I did a mock draft. I don't know if you guys saw that on Full Press Coverage. It was Carmi mock draft 1.0. I had 6 wide receivers going in the first round, which people might think might be kind of bold there.
It's a good receiver class.
I had Jamar Chase go to the Bengals. People were rolling their eyes there. And that's kind of like because the way it broke down, it was like, do they take Jamar Chase or Penei Sewell at number 5? I had them go. I had them take Chase. I was, you know what, we're gonna reunite Burrow with Chase there again.
Burrow's campaigning for him.
He is. I have Pitts going to the Dolphins and I have Penei Sewell falling all the way down to 8 for the Panthers. So I don't know if you guys consider that bold, but that's what I got on my draft.
I think so. I would think so.
Yeah, I can definitely see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely consider that bold, without a doubt.
Right. And speaking of last year's draft, I was a big Antonio Gibson guy. That was my guy. These guys were kind of like, oh, why did we draft him?
Hall thought he was going to be bad. I was all
complete
about
opposite, right?
Hall was all about Darius Geis, and I was like, calm down, Darius Geis. Something's going to happen. He's going to get kicked off the team.
How do you feel about Antonio Gibson? And obviously, we're bringing back J.D. McKissick. A lot of people are of the mindset of we need to add another running back just for the simple fact of what if Antonio Gibson gets injured? Then we're kind of really thin at that position. Where do you stand on that, and what do you expect from Antonio Gibson going to his second year?
I totally agree with that notion. I think so. Going back to what Mike Reed said, like Darius Geis, man, that kills us. Missing on Haskins and missing on Geis were 2 big lifts, man. And obviously Haskins, you want your franchise quarterback, but we seem to kind of get through that. Geis is a good player, and it would have been the perfect complement to Gibson. Geis isn't necessarily like he's injury prone, but we can have him play 8-9 games, kind of share the load, and he last throughout the season. He's a power back, he could catch. It would have been pretty good. I wish we had him. I think I do think we should add depth. It's funny. I kind of waffle. Peyton Barber, for all the all the shit. I'm sorry, I'm cussing this thing. For all the shit people give him. Yeah, exactly. He does what he's supposed to do, right? He falls forward. He gets that 1 yard gain. He gets that goal line gain. I'm not. He's easily replaceable though. But like, I think
does his job.
He does his job. But I think we improve there because as we saw, there's a little stretch. I think it was. Games are mixed up. Those Steelers, San Francisco. I think there's a couple games in a row where Gibson was dinged up, and we couldn't run. We couldn't run at all. And Pickett's great, but he's a pass catching back. So I like Trey Sermon from Ohio State. He's one of my guys. I like him a lot. He's like in the third, fourth round. You can pick him up. Like that would be awesome. Like a third round pick.
Perfect physical runner too.
Perfect physical runner, man.
Yep.
I don't know how you guys feel. James Conner just sitting there on the waiver wire. I don't know if you like him a lot as a depth player, something like that. You can get him up there. But yeah, Mike, I agree. I think we should add depth. I see Gibson having a good year. I don't know about 11 touchdowns. That was definitely a little blip. That was awesome. I'm glad he did that. But I think he's gonna have like 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns. Might regress a little bit, but still a good player.
Right.
Hey, I'll take that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So if Washington stays at 19, which I expect them to, I expect them to either stay at 19 or trade back, acquire some picks. Do you think that they go quarterback on day 2? Do you think that maybe they look at a Kellen Mond or a Davis Mills and they let them sit for a year behind Ryan Fitzpatrick? Or do you think that they just say nope and we'll just adjust quarterback in 2021?
I hope not. Like I've been putting that out there on Twitter often. People kind of getting bad at me, throwing some heat at me that way. I hope not, but I think Rivera wants it. I think he does want some depth at quarterback.
Right.
I personally think it's a wasted pick. Like I think it's very rare to basically hit on a quarterback in the second round plus. You're like 6 in the last 20 years. Like Russell Wilson, Cousins, Derek Carr, all those guys. It's very hard to do. And I'd rather it's like you're either going to have a starter, like you have a starting linebacker or a starting safety or a reserve player that you're going to invest in a couple years. If you pick a quarterback in the second round, you have to you're going to invest in him. It's like you think he's going to be your starter for the foreseeable future or taking you to the playoffs. So I don't want to develop a mental project at number 2. Like if I trust Rivera, if he wants to go that route, I'll support him and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I hope they don't. I hope they go somewhere else. I hope they go linebacker. Hope it goes LT linebacker or linebacker LT is what I'm looking for in 1 and 2. So I'm looking there.
All right, and now to wrap this up, George, the first round comes about. We're at the end of April. Washington football team is on the clock at 19. What are you doing? The Christian Daresaw is there. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is there as well. Are you taking one of those guys, or are you possibly trading back? What are we doing at 19?
Ooh, that's pretty wild. So basically, I'm all about having like a tiered system, right? So if you have a group of guys, like 3 or 4 guys on this one tier, and you think you can basically get away with trading back, I'm all about that. I proposed it. I put it on, I think, Twitter the other day, and kind of went back and forth. If we can trade back, like I think with Jacksonville and Miami, like they have like a 23rd pick and a 25th pick in an early second round. Like I'm willing to give up a 3rd round pick or maybe a second in the future or something like that. If we can kind of work a deal where we can get like 25 and 35 or something like that, I would definitely trade back. I would love that, right? I would get like, maybe Zaven Collins with the 1st pick, Kadarius Toney with the 2nd pick or something like that. Maybe something just kind of balance us out a little bit. Like it doesn't hurt to kind of keep trading back and building your team up. I'm all about that there. But if I had to stay, I would take Daresaw at 19. I think left tackle, you have to do that. That's what we're all about. Washington, we have Joe Jacoby, Chris Samuels, Trent Williams. What do we do? Left tackle, keep it in there.
Yeah, and that's really smart because Todd from the Tay and Todd podcast, he put on Twitter recently somebody had made a similar move and it was only worth like a 3rd rounder. So you saying packaging another 3rd rounder to get higher up in that 2nd round makes a lot of sense, George.
Yeah, I'm all about it.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, George.
Yeah,
I
thank you,
can't
George.
thank
It's
you.
about time.
If you haven't already, go follow George on Twitter. What's your handle, by the way?
At GCarmi21. My last name is CARMI21. And guys, I really appreciate you inviting me on here. It's great to actually talk to you guys in person. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, of course, George. You were phenomenal as always, my brother. I appreciate it. You have a good night. We'll have you on again. I promise.
Yes.
All right, sounds good, guys. Take care. See you later,
brother.
All right, bye.
All right, everybody. We just talked to George. That was great.
George always has like some of the most best and logical takes ever on Twitter. He's just very, very good, smart, logical Washington fan.
He went through the same thing I did when saying he didn't want to trade up.
It was funny because you've been saying we need to trade. I wanted to work a trade with Jacksonville at 23. I think it was where they picked at. So
25,
25. 25.
Miami's at 23.
another guest where, great minds think alike. They just come on,
Yeah,
everything aligns.
Yeah, and that's how I kind of view it, because you can get one of those linebackers at 25, and then you could get with that second rounder that he's saying you're adjusting with, you can take one of those left tackles that are possibly going to be there. So, that's how you can kind of supplement yourself there a little bit. Great stuff from George, as always. Now, to start this off, guys, let's go with our fan questions. And let's start this off with a bang, baby. This is from Eddie, our great fan and friend. He says, crunchy or soft tacos, Hall?
Woo!
It's tacos or peanut butter?
Tacos.
For a second, I thought
There's
it was
another one down the road.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, I was like, I could have swore you asked peanut butter in the beginning. But,
No, that's down the
man,
road.
crunchy or
Sorry.
soft tacos? You know what? I'm a big crunchy taco guy, honestly. I like crunchy tacos. I love tacos either
That's
way.
that's a mighty white of you there, Hall.
I mean, look, I'm a hard shell guy. I love hard shell tacos. I mean, I just had a Doritos Locos taco the other day. And
Doritos Locos tacos are good. They are good.
They are.
Give me a real taco though. I'm talking one from the back of a food truck. You lather that up. You just put some meat on it. You'll put a little bit of have all the good stuff. They have just everything. They usually have radishes on those. They usually slice them up and throw them on there.
Yeah.
I'm a soft taco guy. And I think it's because I have very sensitive gums.
No, I'm soft taco all the day. I'm tortillas. Hook me up with those, dude. Because the one thing I can't stand about crunchy tacos, when I don't have soft tacos and I have to have crunchy tacos, I hate having to scoop up the leftovers from it falling apart. I don't want to have to deal with that. I want to be able to jam pack my taco without it falling everywhere. So for me,
you can also
soft taco.
They can also fall at the back of the soft taco too. I mean, you're just not a hard taco.
You don't roll it tight enough, Hall.
That's for another topic.
Yes, it is. Now, let's move on to our next question. This is from Orange Crush, and he always has great questions, but he outdid himself with these. I think these are phenomenal questions. His first one is Trevor Lawrence an elite or generational draft pick, Hall?
Ooh. I'll go generational draft pick just because I see kind of the young Alex Smith as far as his mobility in him. He has the mind and kind of the football acumen of an Andrew Luck prospect that just came out. There was also a generational type quarterback talent. And obviously he has the arm strength of guys that are on the top tier as well, guys like Dan Marino and stuff like that. So I definitely see him as one of those generational talents that – look, there's not been many prospects that have come out of high school and been as a freshman been yeah, that guy's going to be the number one pick, and then maintain that throughout his whole college career and lived up to those expectations to come out as the number one overall pick. So I definitely think he's one of those generational talents. And look, if Urban Meyer can build his defense back up, I definitely think Jacksonville is going to be back in the mix as far as AFC contenders.
For me, I think that Trevor Lawrence is an elite draft pick. I'm not going to put him in the generational draft pick there because I feel like that is really for the best of the best. Now, obviously Trevor Lawrence is going number one for a reason. He's very, very good, and he's the number one quarterback. That's why he's being selected where he is. I just don't think that he's going to be changing a whole generation type of thing. I think he's good. He's going to come in, be a good professional, but he's not somebody that's going to completely change the position and how people look at it. And that's the kind of definition I'm putting under for generational. Right. So Trevor, for me, he's elite. Without a doubt, elite.
Right, but generational prospects don't always pan out. People threw that on Jadeveon Clowney. He doesn't pan out like that. Andrew Luck was a generational talent. He was very, very good. He was amazing, but he didn't necessarily change the position. John Elway was a generational talent. I'm going to say Trevor Lawrence is, as a prospect. Jennifer Lawrence, dude, she's pretty good. Trevor Lawrence is 100% a generational. He's got it all. He's proved that he can win. He started for so long. He's got it all. He's got all the tools. He's got the size. He's got the long, luscious locks like Fabio. The guy's proved himself. He's got it all. He's done it all. And like Hall said, going wire to wire as the number one recruit and then the number one draft pick. People have been waiting for him to come out for years. He is a generational talent. Will he be a generational player? I'm not sure. Usually those guys don't pan out and be the Patrick Mahomes or somebody, So I don't know if he'll be the generational player, but as a generational prospect, yes, 100%.
I will say he would be generational if he had more dominance through the passing game. You know, he does escape out of the pocket a lot, and his legs do a lot for him. But like, I've never really felt like from Trevor that he could orchestrate inside the pocket and just completely dice up defenses.
Really?
You know what
Have
I
you
mean?
watched a lot of it?
Well,
Right.
yes, of course. But like, they also have a very good team going against other teams that aren't very good. When you're
I'll
talking
tell you
about
what, he doesn't have a good one. He doesn't have a good left tackle. I'm just kidding.
that's a good one. Now, this next question from Orange Crush is probably my favorite that we've ever gotten. And that is what are your elite or generational draft picks in this year?
Well, I'll start. So I only have one generational. Okay, I have Trevor Lawrence. Other than that, I have one elite. That's Kyle Pitts, and Kyle Pitts is right on the board. He could be a generational tight end, man. This dude could be the best tight end to come out in a long time. There's two guys though that I think could have been could have been like elite, like no questions asked, like Chase Young, Joe Burrow type this year, and that is Jamar Chase and Penei Sewell. If they would have played last year, I think them not playing really hurts them, and that's kind of where you see them kind of not getting mentioned in the same breath. Some people are having them outside the top 5 and all this, but I think that they could have been elite, top of the line, no questions asked, top guys. But right now, I'm Trevor Lawrence and Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I only have one generational pick in this draft, and that is Kyle Pitts. I feel like he's the type of person that will remake that tight end position, especially now in the NFL. The tight end position is not something that is very heavy. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of journeyman kind of guys at the tight end position. There's not – Travis Kelce is up there, obviously George Kittle as well, but it's not like there's a bunch of superstars there. Kyle Pitts being brought into the equation can really reshape that position and how people look at it. With his height, his athleticism, and everything that he's able to do and bring to the table, being that wide receiver kind of / tight end, I feel like Kyle Pitts is the generational talent in this draft. He is the best prospect in the draft by far, in my opinion. Now, the elite picks, Micah Parsons, Penei Sewell, and J.C. Horn. Besides the quarterbacks, obviously. We can all say the quarterbacks are elite. I think so. I mean, they're going in the top 5. There's a reason for that.
Right.
But so for me, it's J.C. Horn, Penei Sewell, and Micah Parsons are the elite prospects in the draft.
Yeah, now I'm with you as far as like the generationals goes, like outside of quarterback, obviously. Definitely Kyle Pitts. Like you said, you can line him up anywhere. He's a great blocker. He's an excellent receiver. Like, you can line him up anywhere on the offense. Yeah. So, and my elite, I would probably go same as Reed, where I go Penei Sewell and Jamar Chase. I still definitely think their elite players are going to be elite players in NFL. Obviously, Penei Sewell has the size, the agility, the athleticism to be a generational kind of left tackle for 10 plus years on a franchise, a cornerstone. And Jamar Chase, I definitely think that with the emergence of Justin Jefferson, people are expecting even bigger and better things from Jamar Chase. And I definitely think he lives up to it because he was the standout receiver at LSU over Justin Jefferson.
Right.
Everyone saw what Justin Jefferson came in, did in the NFL Rookie of the Year, or Rookie of the Year runner-up. Not Biletnikoff Award, but the top
linebacker award.
The top wide receiver award in the NFL. So I definitely think that Jamar Chase is going to be, especially if he hooks up with Joe Burrow and Cincinnati. I think reuniting with him is going to do wonders for his career and definitely become that next new staple AJ Green type receiver in Cincinnati.
Yeah, and before we progress to our other fan questions, I just want to remind you guys, we are having our mock draft version 2.0 this coming Tuesday. So if you want to be able to have a draft selection in there, you have to be able to send us a video, about 15, 30 seconds, of making your pick and why. And for that team, we'll have you slotted. We'll tell you who's available, who's not. If you want to be able to draft one of them in the mock draft that we're doing on Tuesday, you got to be able to DM me on Twitter at the Burgundy Zone, and you got to be able to make a video for us, a short one. Send it to me so I can put it into the program for us. Now, moving on, Wahoo Dad, he wants to know, Hall, should we trade up for Rashawn Slater?
No, like I don't really see us trading up for Rashawn Slater. If we're going to trade up for any player, I think it would be if one of the quarterbacks slipped towards the bottom of the 10, like 9, 10 area, maybe even 11. Or I definitely think that if one of the receivers definitely slips to like that 17, 18 area, they may trade up to get one of those guys just because to add another wide receiver to like this room would be put this offense over the top, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't see them trading up for Rashawn Slater. If they're going to go left tackle and Daresaw's there, he's definitely going to be the pick.
Yeah, Now, look, I'm just the only player that I'd be willing to trade up for at this point is Kyle Pitts. That's the only one that I'm going to be willing to do that for. The other quarterbacks, you don't want to. In my personal opinion, I just don't want the crumbs of what everyone else has. You know, they're picking whatever they want. They get first choice, everything, and then we're going, oh, well, let's trade up for whatever's left over. And I don't have a great feeling with that, to be perfectly honest. Obviously, we could get very lucky, but it's just not my opinion, no. So Rashawn Slater, I wouldn't trade up for it. Obviously, offensive line is in need somewhat to be able to have some depth there, but I'm just not really ready to mortgage trading future assets in order to go get him, in my personal opinion. It's a great question from Wahoo. Now, he wants to know, chunky or creamy peanut butter, Hall?
I'm a creamy peanut butter guy. I don't really like the.
Seem like it.
the
Hard taco and then creamy peanut butter. You make zero.
I will say
sense.
this though. I like peanuts or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like roasted peanuts and shit like that. I love those. So it's kind of weird that I don't like crunchy peanut butter.
Right.
But I mean, I do like crunchy peanut butter. Don't get me wrong. But if I had to choose, I just like the smooth peanut butter on my PB&J.
No, I'm a wild boy, man. I like chunky peanut butter, dude. Make me a PB&J that I want to be able to have something to crunch on my peanut butter and jelly. I want to be able to taste the peanut butter and the jelly at the same time with a little bit of crisp on it. You know, that's what I love. I love that chunky peanut butter. I would take that over creamy any day of the week, in my personal opinion. That's a great question.
That is a good one.
Now, Wahoo's next question. If Penei Sewell or Kyle Pitts drops to number 10, do we pull the trigger, Hall?
Kyle Pitts, I would say I wouldn't have them. I mean, it's as crazy and unorthodox as it seems to trade up and get a tight end and give up X amount of assets to get a tight end. Like you said before, he's one of those generational guys, and to say that he would put this offense over the top would be like not even explaining it. I think they would instantly become a top 10 to 8 offense, depending on obviously how Ryan Fitzpatrick plays and like no injuries, everything like that, blah blah blah. But yeah, if he somehow got the 10. Which, again, it would never happen that we would trade up to 10 to get him because Dallas sit at number 10. Dallas is not going to trade us to get Kyle Pitts.
They're not going to trade with us.
You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, if it was possible, then I would definitely trade up for Pitts. Penei Sewell, I don't think so, just because, again, I'm perfectly fine with a guy like Rashawn Slater or Daresaw slipping to us at 19.
Yeah, before we ask you this question, Reed, chunky or creamy peanut butter?
Creamy's better as lube. Chunky kind of hurts, but
What's up, James?
I'm a dad.
Hey.
James, say hi, all right? Fuck me. All right.
He's like, nah, I'm good. No, the next question we asked was, if Sewell or Pitts drops to number 10, do we pull the trigger on trading up?
I like I said, I think both of those guys are like borderline generational talents. Or borderline generational talents. Hold on, baby. Hold on.
His pass he dropped.
Yep. But no, like Hall said, I think being able to get Daresaw on them at number 19 would be huge. Pitts would completely change the offense. I just wouldn't want to give up too much, you know, because like you said, you can get possibly a Daresaw at 19. So I'm gonna say no, but I do love both of those guys, and I would kill to have either one of them.
Yeah, and that's
I just wouldn't give up a lot of picks.
Yeah, make sure you get his passy. Now, Ash Burning wants to know. He asked on Twitter, do we trade the stable or do we draft well Hall and roll with Fitz?
I am of the same mindset of George, where I think that, and Ron Rivera even mentioned this, where obviously he was in Carolina, he drafted Cam and then built a team around Cam, and he was thinking to himself, well, what if I do it the other way? Can I do it the other way? And I think that's kind of his mindset going into this season where, all right, let's build the rest of the team, let's build the rest of this roster, and sign a veteran guy that can be a bridge type of guy, maybe a year, maybe 2 years maximum. And then if we find our guy along the way, cool. And then bam. We have so many weapons, so many pieces on the defensive side of the ball, offensive side of the ball. You can just plug and play a quarterback, and they're in ready to go win mode. So I'm definitely of the mindset of build.
Oh, Hall froze.
Hall froze.
Yeah, he froze. No, but I will say the one thing about Ron Rivera in Carolina, remember, he drafted Luke Kuechly in 2012. They already had Julius Peppers on the roster, if I'm not mistaken. That defense and that team was already well built. That's why they went and pulled the trigger on Cam when they were sitting there at 1, because they were in the ability to do so. And that's why I feel like they did that. So I agree with you, Hall. I feel like they need to continue building this team. I've said it many times. You know, the same people that were complaining last offseason, saying that the Washington football team, Ron Rivera, weren't giving Dwayne Haskins enough weapons to be able to beat to be successful, meaning offensive line, wide receivers, tight end, running backs. They didn't do enough for him to be successful. These are the same people saying that we need to trade up in the draft to go get a quarterback. Guess what, dude? That's you're doing the opposite here. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why give away those assets for that quarterback when you're going to need to be able to replenish it with those draft picks? Doesn't make sense to me. So I'd rather build the team, because if you build the foundation, you build a great team, then it's going to make the quarterback's job easier. The teams I look for, and for an example, the Baltimore Ravens later on in 2000 and 2012. Look at the Steelers with Ben Roethlisberger, mid-20s pick. He comes in, all of a sudden they're a playoff team with a great defense, with the same kind of thing we're building here. And the Seahawks, obviously. They built the teams, then they got their quarterback, and then they were able to go far. That's how I feel. I don't want to trade up for a quarterback, especially only for a generational draft pick like Kyle Pitts. What about you, Reed?
Yeah, I don't want to trade it. Like I said, unless they honest to God feel that whoever it is that they're trading up for, whether that's Trey Lance or whoever it is that they like, Justin Fields, then I'll understand. I'll agree with them. They know what they're talking about. So if they honestly think that they're going to be a top 5-7 quarterback in the league, go for it. But if I don't want to, like you guys have both said, I'd rather build the team up.
Yep. Now, Hall, Tony Shivers' question. I think you're going to love this one. If you were playing pickup basketball, who from the Washington football team would you run with?
Man, I always see Deron Payne shooting shots and tagging the Wizards on Twitter, talking about, "Hey, I'm here. Give me a 10-day contract."
Trick shot, yeah.
Yeah. So, look, Deron's a huge, big guy. He's a big body guy. I'll just feed him the ball in the paint, let him get his Shaq Diesel on. He want to kick it out to me, just buckets all day. So I definitely run with my man D Payne.
Yeah, if any of you listening aren't familiar with what we're talking about, Deron Payne uploaded a Twitter and tagged the Washington Wizards in it, where he shot a trick shot, from behind the backboard, about I think it was like 15, 20 feet, shot it over the backboard, made it in the hoop. So it was a great shot. It was really cool. I'm running with Chase Young. There's nobody else I'm picking right now. I think Chase Young played basketball at DeMatha.
Yeah, he played at DeMatha. Yeah, he did.
So
yeah.
the dude that can play, look at his length, his body style. He's going to be perfect for a small forward, power forward. If I'm running with anyone, Chase Young's on my team. Dude, I'm taking that dog. That's what I'm doing.
What about you, Reed?
Reed is taking James. That's who he's taking.
Yeah.
Poor baby. Now, Mike from the UK wants to know. He thinks that Logan Thomas could be great next season. Hall, do you agree?
Oh, 100% agree. I definitely think that a complete full offseason, OTAs, all that good stuff, him building a rapport with Ryan Fitzpatrick from day one, as opposed to kind of just stepping on the field with Dwayne Haskins and kind of learning on the fly. Because obviously in the beginning of the season, everyone was kind of like, why didn't we get another tight end? Why did we sign Logan Thomas? Right. But you see, once a competent quarterback, I mean, it sucks to say. Once you see a competent quarterback come in, he starts to get a little bit of separation. He starts to ascend, starts to catch the eye, starts to go on people's radar as far as like one of those ascending top tight ends in the league. So I definitely think that adding another tight end that they want to, like they were been talking about, that can stretch the field vertically, kind of that athletic tight end, will take some pressure off of Logan Thomas, which would create more opportunities for Logan Thomas. I definitely think that the red zone is where he's going to be a monster this year with Fitz at the quarterback position. So I definitely think he could keep ascending as to the top of the league as far as tight ends go.
Yeah, we had a fan question recently from Rio on bold predictions for this season, and mine was that Logan Thomas is going to have over 750 yards receiving this year. Obviously, it's not that crazy because he had 680 last year. Maybe with consistent quarterback play, he'll easily be able to go over top of that. But that's with added Curtis Samuel into the equation. Obviously, the targets are going to be able to move a little bit more. So that's why definitely I think Logan Thomas is going to have going to be great this season. He's going to continue developing under Pete Hainer, the tight ends coach. Ron Rivera brought him in from Carolina. The dude, like I said before, Logan Thomas, I felt like is like a legit mold of Greg Olsen. The long body. He doesn't separate very well from DBs and linebackers, but he has the size, he has great hands, and he blocks well. A lot like Greg Olsen, in my opinion. So I think in the second year under Pete Hainer, he's going to take another step forward. What about you, Reed? Do you think that Logan Thomas is going to have a great season?
Yes.
I barely hear you.
Yes, he is. He's going to have a fantastic
Yes, he is. Now, Our next question is from our 4th honorary member in Todd, Sir Toddington, like I like to say. He said, if you had to put together your ideal Washington football team foursome to go golfing with you, which 3 are with you? And to further that, who rides in the cart with you? This is a Masters Week themed question.
Can I go first?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm obviously Jimmy Moreland's going to ride in the cart with me.
Damn it.
Jimmy Moreland. I'm also going to bring Chase Young. He's a fun guy. He's bringing the energy. Cole Holcomb. He's a fun guy who even has a mullet at times. And then Morgan Moses, because he's a cool guy who I feel like he could give me a lot of wisdom.
Yeah, those are great because I was going to say Jimmy was going to be in my foursome as well. But for me, it's Terry McLaurin. He's riding in the cart with me. Hull knows, like, whenever I go golfing and there's somebody that's, like, learning to play golf, I like to be able to, like, to talk to them, give them pointers, you know, like, just to help them out a little bit. I don't know. It's weird. It's not like I'm the overbearing dude, but it's just like, yo, if you want help, you know, I can help you. I like doing that. So I know Terry's trying to get his golf game better. I would love to be able to sit in the cart with Terry and kind of help him get his game up because I'm sure he'll be better than me by the end of the round. Then the other two, Jack Del Rio and Coach Rivera. That's it. I want to hear some stories, dude. I want to throw some drinks back. I want to hear some awesome stories from them. What about you, Hall?
Definitely riding in the cart with me is going to be my man Fitz. He seems like when I go golfing, I'm definitely trying to like work on my game, get better, you know, become like a below average golfer at best. And exactly, I want to throw back. I want to smash some beers with the boys. And I feel like Fitz is one of them guys who's going to like, actually, you know what? I'm going to scratch that. I'm going to go on my man Taylor Heineke because I already saw the video of him chucking a Bud Light in the locker room after the game. So
you have 3 in your group. You can
I
have
know,
Taylor
I
and
know,
Ryan.
but I might go back to Fitz. You never know. But and my second guy is going to be Tressway. Obviously, he's a fun guy, funny guy. Everyone has a good time whenever they talk about Tressway. So he would definitely be a lot of fun. And my third would, you know what, it probably would be Fitz just because, like I said, I like to hang out with the boys, smash some beers, and I feel like me, Taylor, and Fitz could have a beer chugging contest together.
Dude, you guys would be best friends by the end of it. If you ever drink with Hall, it's such a great time.
I feel like Fitz would be like the coolest dude ever. I'm like pissed off that I forgot about him.
Like I feel like Fitz would be like one of those dudes that like drives the golf cart into the water.
Yeah,
right.
Literally every single person that plays with him, like all the brothers and stuff that play with him, love him. Like that's a good sign that
literally.
Even
they
Deshaun
swear
Jackson,
by him.
Deshaun Jackson is from SoCal. Like he's you know, he's versed, and he was like that's the coolest motherfucker I've ever met.
So Deshaun Jackson's versed.
He's versed.
He's versed and cool. He knows cool. He knows Snoop. He's cool.
He's no Snoop. He's cool.
Oh, that's great. Now, Aaron, we saved the best for last, and that's the Colonel. He has 2 fantastic questions for us. First one is to you, Hall. Will the Washington football team trade away their picks to go after Trey Lance, or is this subterfuge? And this is all predicated on the Michael.
By the way, good question there, Colonel. We had to Google it before.
Great use of subterfuge.
I didn't want to pronounce it wrong.
Yeah.
No, but and this is all predicated on the Michael Lombardi quote on his podcast, talking about how I have it up right here. If you guys want me to pull that up, I can do that again. Let me pull it. Give me 2 seconds. He said, Michael Lombardi said, I think Washington is going to be the next team to unload all their picks to try to get a quarterback. I think they love Lance. I don't think, actually. I know Washington loves Lance. I think they're willing to go get him. So what the Colonel is asking, is Washington really willing to trade away all their picks to go get Lance, like Michael Lombardi is saying, Hall?
Again, I think it's all predicated on how far and if he does happen to slide towards the back 10, maybe. And again, if he gets to 10, I don't see Dallas trading with us to possibly give us our franchise quarterback if he pans out for no matter how many picks we try to give Dallas. That's not going to happen. So he would definitely and again, Denver's at 9, so it's kind of like, is he going to get past Denver? Because Denver's in the market for a quarterback. Right. So I definitely think it's going to be very, 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 very hard unless you're going to move up to 4. And I just don't see, after Ron Rivera's comments saying that he doesn't want to mortgage away the future for one player, I don't see them going after a guy like Trey Lance, even though Lombardi probably is right on his sources because – and I also heard Lombardi say that Ron Rivera is kind of like going to see how the board plays out and stuff like that. Well, yeah, that's true because obviously if someone like that, you love slides, you're going to try to go up and get your guy. But I just feel that it's way too much to give up to go from 19 to 4. That's jumping 15 people, like, or 14, whatever the count is.
I
But
did that yesterday, the draft trade chart. Like, we would have to give way
yeah,
more than just a first, second, 2 third-round picks. Like, you got to throw multiple firsts. You got to, like,
exactly. And I was going back and forth with
Talking to the
Phil
mic.
Ramos. Yeah, I was going back with
Man.
forth with Phil Ramos, who's a Cowboys fan. And I was pretty much like,
great. I'm sure he has a great take on this.
yeah, because I said this, I was like, I pretty much was like, if they're not going to go, if they didn't give up the farm for Russell Wilson or a guy like Deshaun Watson, why would they go up and get an unknown, like variable, an unknown commodity like Trey
Contract.
Lance? And he was talking about, oh well, you got to pay those guys a premium contract. Well, Deshaun Watson already has his contract, so you don't got to pay him. And yes, Russell Wilson has no more guaranteed money. Would probably want a new contract, but obviously Russell Wilson would be worth it. So, long story short, no.
No, I do think it's all smoke and mirrors. I mean, what Albert Breer came out yesterday and said that he didn't think that they're going to be sitting pat. He thinks that they're going to be fine there. They're not going to trade up. And then a couple hours later, Michael Lombardi comes out with this saying that no, I could really see them going after Lance. What we have learned this whole offseason and going back to last year, nothing gets out of Ashburn anymore. And it's been very surprising. I'm glad that it goes down that way. So do I really believe that Lombardi has been talking to somebody in that front office that knows for a fact what's going to go down? No, I don't. I think that he's just putting 2 and 2 together based on what he's heard from different scouts around the league and seeing that Scott Turner, Martin Mayhew were at Trey Lance's pro day. I'm sure he's thinking like, yeah, they are interested in doing that. I don't think so, Colonel. I think the smartest thing, I think Ron Rivera understands that he's trying to build something here. And obviously you need a quarterback. You do. But at the same time, last season, what was our biggest issue? It was the fact that we had 4 different quarterbacks. No team, it's very hard for teams to be able to have a consistent offense with 4 different quarterbacks starting. As soon as we have some consistent quarterback play, I think our offense is going to be a lot better. We don't need to go do that right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in my opinion, you do need an elite quarterback to win, and it's like to win Super Bowls. But I don't like Ron. You do need an elite quarterback to win Super Bowls, pretty much in this era. That's just what happens. But I don't, like Ron said, I don't think he's going to mortgage the future to trade up. I think it's going to take the right scenario, the right guy. Do they like him? I'm sure that they do like Trey Lance. I know Michael Lombardi said that. Then the report got shot down, but then John Keim came back and said that no, look, they really do like Trey Lance. I don't think that they're trading up to 4 to get him. Like we said, that's just way too much. Maybe if Trey Lance falls to 10, but like Hall said, Dallas is there. I don't know. But I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll make them an offer they can't refuse. And other than that, yeah, I don't know. I don't see it happening. I really don't think so.
Yeah, and Ken made a great point the other night by saying it, and obviously Sheriff probably wouldn't be involved with that just because nobody wants to trade for a guard right now on $18 million per, especially an injury-prone guard, and then having to pay him a contract.
Right.
It just doesn't really make sense there. Great question, Colonel. Now, his next one is, do you guys think that we have enough depth on the O-line, and will we be shopping for it in the draft, Hall? Or no, Reed, sorry, you can go first.
No, we do not have enough depth on the O-line. Look, I mean, West Schweitzer starting. I like getting Sadiq Charles back, but and Cornelius Lucas has been very good, but Jerron Christian has not proved that he's anything. He can't play swing tackle. I think we need an offensive tackle that'll allow you to do so much. It'll allow Sadiq Charles, if he does pan out, play guard. Sheriff's going to end up leaving here soon. He's injury prone anyway. He already turned down that the contract that we offered him, where he would have been the highest paid guard in the NFL, allegedly. And if that's true, then I guarantee he's gone after this year. See that catch? Damn. I guarantee he's gone after this year. So, yeah, I think you can never have enough offensive linemen. I think Cornelius Lucas would be best in a swing tackle role where you could just fill in for either side. And
right.
I think you draft somebody like Daresaw. Like I said, that'll just open up so many possibilities of allowing people to switch inside to guard. And yes, you can never have enough O-line depth, and we do not have it.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, we got in an argument over this before, but isn't Jaron Christian off the team? Wasn't this a contract year last year?
No, he still has 1 more year left.
He has 1 more? Okay. All right, that makes a lot of sense. And yes, we do need depth. Obviously, Jaron Christian did okay, but it wasn't like he was a barn burner by any stretch. Cornelius Lucas, like you said, great tackle. He did well last year, but he doesn't move the needle. He doesn't really elevate you. You know, he'll do what he needs to do, but it's not like he's really making a huge difference. I know it's stupid to say at left tackle when he's keeping your quarterback up.
We know who he is.
Right. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's like, he's keeping your quarterback safe. He did a great job with that. It's just not, it's not like a Trent Williams type of effect.
That's what I'm
is
saying. We
trying to
know
make.
who he is
Yeah.
throughout his career. He's proved it. So if he did good, imagine what somebody like Daresaw or somebody would
Right.
do who's actually
And then
talented. you know?
let's just say right now, what if one of Morgan Moses or Cornelius Lucas gets injured? What are we doing at the tackle? I know we re-signed David Sharp, but are you really that confident in David Sharp being able to play multiple games? No. So absolutely, Colonel, we need depth, and it's definitely going to be through the draft. This is a very offensive-heavy draft. You're talking about Quinn Miners in the mid-rounds, early to mid-rounds, David Moore at a Grambling State, Doug Williams' alma mater. My boy Jackson Carmen possibly in the second or third round is there. You have
Dylan
Brady
Ravens
Christensen
from
from
Dakota State.
BYU, Walker Little. There's so many. Jalen
Dan
Mayfield
Moore
from Michigan.
Texas A&M. you
Yeah.
know.
There's a lot of guys in this draft you can go get, and I definitely can see Washington getting 2 in this draft.
Yeah. What did Ron Rivera say? We need to study this history. We need to repeat this history.
Yep. There you
This
go.
history is the Hogs, offensive linemen, stable offensive line, mauling people up front. So we definitely need to add some depth. We need to get back to those running the ball, which obviously that's what Ron Rivera wants to do, run the ball, play good defense. So in order to do that, got to build offensive line depth. So yeah, to answer his question, yes.
Yes, and thank you, Colonel. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone for your fan questions. I know you wanted to talk about it briefly, Reed. I'm not sure if you still do, about the change to the jersey numbers.
No, I mean, I just think it's fucking dumb. I'm a traditionalist. I'm not into it. Not into it. That's all I got to say about that.
My brother actually asked me a good question. He was like, so if all these players go back to switching their numbers and blah, 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 what if they make the Hall of Fame? Is it going to be hard to like retire their numbers and jerseys and Hall of Fame just because like if you're going to switch your number up, what if someone already has that number and like retired? And
Right.
it's really confusing. Plus, I don't want to see a lineman
Yeah.
sack a quarterback at like wearing number like 3. That looks weird.
It helps you identify players too. Just like when you see somebody just real fast flying through the screen, like, oh, who's that? Who's number 50 something? Okay, it was a linebacker. Okay, that was a
Right.
I don't know. It just who caught that pass? Okay, it was number 18. Okay, that was a wide receiver. All right, it wasn't a tight end. It was one of these big body boys. I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like it.
Dude,
I don't. If I ever see a quarterback wearing 22, I swear to God.
Oh,
What is
that's
this, Friday Night
so
Lights?
ugly. Yeah, it's so
Exactly.
ugly.
It's
That's
so
what
ugly. Now, I will say, I don't care, honestly. It is what it is. If whatever jersey you want to wear it. I don't care. Obviously, I'd love to be a traditionalist. Just keep it the way it is. There's nothing wrong with it. But I will say, I saw the best exchange today. Cam Curl and Sadiq Charles, because Cam Curl
Yeah, I
had
saw that.
tweeted out that he was like, the 31 makes me look big. And Sadiq Charles like made a comment, was like, dude, if you don't chill out or something like that. And Cam Curl called him Calf Man.
Yeah.
It was hilarious,
It's
hysterical.
funny because he does show off his calves and all of his Instagram. pics.
Dude, his calves are huge. How can you
Fantastic
not?
calves. Great
Yeah.
calves. Great calves.
He's the calf man. What a great nickname that is.
Calf,
All right.
man.
Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Colonel, Todd, Mike, Tony, Ash Burning, Wahoo Dad, Orange Crush, and Eddie. Thank you so much for your fan questions. We appreciate it. You guys are the best. We already have our guests locked up for next week. You're not going to want to miss it. And our mock draft is on Tuesday. Again, if you want to be able to be selecting somebody in that mock draft, you got to DM me on Twitter at the Burgundy Zone. Let me know what you want. I'll send you what prospects are available based on where we are in that draft. And you got to be able to make a 15 to 30-second video of you selecting that pick. All right, everybody. I'm Kyle.
I am actively searching for those 11% people that said they want to trade Terry to the Bengals for the top 5 pick. No, get out of
Reveal
here.
yourself.
That was the worst, probably one of the worst polls I've seen.
When I saw that poll, I was like, is this even a question? And then when I saw the percent, I saw people actually say yes. I was like, this has to be a joke. Has to be a joke.
Yeah.
Has to be Bengals fans saying yes to this.
Yeah.
You going
Yeah,
to say
no.
bye, James?
James said bye. He's like, nah, fuck you guys.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Yeah. He's
All
too
right,
busy.
everybody.
He's got terrible diaper rash right now, and he's like, fuck.
I could tell. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good weekend. Be safe. I'm going golfing on Sunday. I'm going to love it. All right, everybody. Washington football. Hey! What's up, everyone? This is Kyle from the Burgundy Zone. We are releasing our own merch to support the show. If you want to rock the Burgundy Zone logo or you want to see Reed's face on your shirt, we got it. We're starting with t-shirts, hoodies, and zip-up. So if you're a fan of the show, make sure you snag one before they are gone. Check out the link in our bio on Instagram, or you can find the link in the description of the video. Thanks again for all your support. Until next time.